Welcome to Miss Dragon's Menagerie. Everyone is welcome, everyone is accepted. The only requirement is that you are loving, kind, and respectful to one another. Bad behavior will not be tolerated.
Hello, everyone, and greetings to the replay crew. I'm over here waiting to see when it starts on my phone. Oh, wow. Didn't even have an intro. But, hey, Suspicious, how's it going? Yeah, hey, Sandy. I completely spaced. Yep, that's me. I'm good. That it was you, Suspicious. I never really paid attention to the numbers behind your name, so I wasn't sure if it was you or not in Dave's little premiere. I'm doing okay. Tomorrow is the results appointment. So we'll see if it's one lump or two that goes bye-bye. So find out. I tried looking at my chart and I didn't have any luck. And that's nice is I'm bruising now. I hope they don't have to cut that one out or I'll have a nifty little scar right there. So just been trying to keep my brain busy so I don't think about it too much. Other than the fact I have to get up earlier than normal. Like I said, I'm gonna jump on before. I may end up finishing putting on my makeup while I sit here and talk to you guys. I sat down here earlier to do all this, and I'm like, what the hell doesn't look right? I forgot to put on my eyebrows. You'll be amazed how blank the face looks without the eyebrows. So, I mean, yep. And I got plenty of those. Falling off my bike. Let's see. I'm running out of vestigial organs that I can afford to live without. Of course, the old skin knees and whatnots and elbows, and yeah, I got plenty of those. They're proof that scars. Scars are proof that we had a fun childhood. Because if we didn't have any scars growing up, we weren't doing something right. I mean, hey, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. I hope your day goes well. My oldest hit the as he was on his BMX bike, went over a rock, fell off, hit his head on the rock, split his head open, brought him in. At that time, he just had a crew cut because it was the summer haircut, back in the early 90s. And so I just butterflied his head together and just made him stay awake for a while and took him in the next day and said, wanted to look at this injury in the back of his head. And man, hey, Neek. Yep, scars are earned by survivors. Hey, Misha. They tried to chew me out for telling me, you should have brought him in right away. You should have brought him to ER. I'm like, I'm a nurse's aide certified. I know what I'm supposed to look for. I know what has to happen when he's fine. I just want to make sure if he needs any, if there was any rocks in there, but yeah. So, but healed from that and then a few years later did split the back of his head open again, goofing off in the back of a pickup bed, and then his friend he hit the gas and out he went. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, memories of children. So they do. Hey, Seventh, how are you? So yeah, tomorrow. Oh, this time tomorrow, I'm hopefully eating Mexican food. I'll have my comfort food. There's a place called Ay Carambas up here that has really good food. How goes it, Nick? Welcome to the menagerie. Hey, Brazzy. So, Neek, if I get you right, you're also Flapjack. Am I right? That I'm not going insane thinking that you're the same ones? Um, uh, he's never been to it, and I'm like going, how have you never been to Ay Caramba? But I guess it was just daughter go with her friend all the time. I would go with mother and take the 8-year-old when she was like 3, and it's a okay, good. I am thinking of the right person. Good, good, good. Um, again, or is this just the one you had a while back? Please tell me you didn't get hit again. Oh, tell me you did not get hit again. Yeah. Okay, good, good, good. Um, I yesterday I titled it memories because I thought of something I'd kind of forgotten. And I got so sidetracked, ADHD kicked in and my brain's over here and the title's over here and they're not anywhere close together. But all this going on yesterday, having to hit this button, I think I've only had to hit it like 3 times today. Having to hit it like crazy. Um, I remember being in a car wreck when I was 18. My own stupidity, the one and only car wreck I've ever been in. Going 65 plus from pavement to freshly graveled dirt road. Needless to say, the linemen working on the telephone pole expected me to be dead from what they saw. Um, good, good. Yeah, just keep going. That's all we can do. But so they expected me dead. Since then, they have now paved that part of the road, and I know the kid whose father owns that field that I landed in. But uh, I rolled a few times. That one in slow motion in a Ford Escort. I had. I'm so short. I have to sit really close to the steering wheel for my feet to reach the pedals. I still do. And so, without a seatbelt, I didn't bounce around too terribly much. I did hit the windshield and did a spider web crack in it and had glass in my scalp, but that and the bruise where the steering wheel hit my thigh was the worst of my injuries. But I remember thinking, I resigned myself to death. My first thought was, great, I'm going to die. This is how I'm going to go out. And I thought to myself, I just want to get married, have kids, and, see my grandkids. And it dawned on me a couple of days ago, I've reached that goal. So I don't know. Some part of me says, you're going to survive this, but there's a bigger reason you have to survive this. And I'm trying to figure out how. I mean, I'm a housewife who has fun turning memes into life. Yeah, it does. Sneaks up on us really fast. But I know I really don't want to travel because don't like the idea of doors coming off out of the plane. Oh man, yeah. Those are really weird because I made sure I kept my eyes open. I wanted to watch. Weirdly enough, most people close their eyes. I wanted to watch. So I watched myself go round and round in slow motion. But so I'm hoping it'll be either it's very simple tomorrow or nothing at all. And I just try to figure out what I'm doing, why I'm still here. And if it's not something really simple, I think the sound of my hourglass, like I had a feeling, is running out faster than I thought it originally was. That I've reached my goal. And if it's not simple, like the 10 o'clock, then I'm basically living on borrowed time. But I think we're all living on borrowed time since 2012. But that's just my craziness. So yeah, either way, I'm gonna have I'm either, depending on what the results are, cry in my beer at Icarumba's or celebrate with a margarita, one or the other. So Jesus Christ, 7th. I only rolled like 4 and had Dad's whole socket set and the spare tire go out the back window, hatchback window. He retrieved a lot of his socket set except for those little tiny ones. Those are lost in the field because they had just plowed the field. So, man. Ooh. Well, I had to. The lineman took me down to, one of them lived down the road. Took me down to their house. I called my dad to tell him I'd been in a wreck. And I told Dad, I said, Dad, I said, I said, I got something to tell you. And I could hear my brother, who was 14 at the time, I could hear him in the background. What did she do? Wreck the car? And I'm like, I wrecked the car. And my dad's first words were, not, are you okay? Is everything all right? His first words were, oh, shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I get it from. Yep. All right, honey, you take care of yourself, Misha. So they come get me. We go to look at the car, which was upside down. And if you're upside down and your windows are rolled up and you need to roll them down, you roll them the opposite direction. That took my brain a few seconds to realize, well, shit, I'm upside down. I got to go the other way. A state patrolman stopped by. My dad worked for the sheriff's department. He retired from sheriff's department. And he looks at my dad and goes, she okay? Dad's like, yeah, she's fine. He's like, okay, bye. No police report, no nothing. Because the guy was, the state patrolman was on a drug bust. So, like I said, the golden child just, PEMCO dropped me. My insurance dropped me, but there is no record of it on my driving record. So, yeah. But, I always figured after that how I would go out would be a wreck. That's how Mama went out, my birth mother. My oldest of my younger brothers sends me a text message going 100 of his speedometer driving down the road 110 miles an hour, and he sends it to me in a text message. I'm like, yeah, it's genetic. We're all gonna die like Mom did. So yeah, I'm not gonna get too fatalistic, but it just dawned on me, hey Ricky, that the two things I thought that I wanted to accomplish, when I thought I was gonna die at 18, I've accomplished. So yeah. Ouch. Suck. That reminds me, I gotta chat on here with Progressive about my insurance. When I drive Donut, maybe a dozen or 2 dozen times a year, I need to reduce some of my insurance because it just sits there. And Donut is our 03 Expedition that used to be a cop car, was a sheriff's car, Then it became a city cop car, and then they auctioned it off, and we got it for $1,200. So, yeah, I try to stay as positive as I can, but I can't help it. My blood type is B positive. Kid you not. Nope, it's B positive. 7% of the world has my blood type. My youngest is B negative. Me, hubby, the oldest, all positives, and I have an RH negative kid. He's my little space alien. Because according to 23andMe, the maternal haplogroup is B2C. That originated as they figured out. I'm not exactly sure how they figured this out. I haven't a clue. From an Anasazi woman 9,000 years ago. So that's why I call him my little alien. So, yep. The other one, I still haven't figured out how on earth he ended up. So being adopted, I don't know about everybody else's blood type. I could probably ask my brothers, but if any of them are RH negative. Those are the green ones that I don't know how to describe it. It's not quite this green, but it's similar. You see those all around. Yeah, that the little Ford Rangers. Yeah. Suspicious. You can order a kit that will do your blood type for you. I think it's basically the same kit that we did in chemistry or biology in high school, and you can find out your blood type. I gotta go by Sunday. We have to go check a geocache up 1803, and I gotta go by the Forest Service cabin and find out what they've gotten done there. So see if they got the back steps put together, and that one beam, just that one beam's rotted. The one on top is fine, and they put in a new fire pit. They redid the picnic table. Kind of gonna miss the carvings that were on top of the picnic table, and some benches around the new fire pit. But some people, and I don't know who they were, worked hard on making these benches out of logs. Niched them out. So the log can sit on top, flattened it out. They worked hard to make it, and they just took them all apart and threw them aside. I'm like, you fucking assholes. Somebody worked hard at this just to make it more comfortable, a place for everybody to sit. So, well, that's interesting. I didn't know what that was till after I got pregnant at 22. That was a thing of they had to test me to make sure that I wasn't RH negative, and so I wouldn't have to have the shots or however that went. Yeah. They don't usually, and I think it has to be specifically done. They don't just know it. It's one thing I think they have to check off on a blood draw. I don't know why they don't do it and let people be aware of what they've got. Yeah. Yep. Table is somewhere, I don't know where. I have a video of a raven on that table before they took it off. That I set it out a couple of hot dogs, set my camera out, hit record, set out some hot dogs for it, because what triggered that was I looked out the window and it was trying to take off with a whole bag of hot dog buns. bag and all, plastic and all. I had to go stop it or I would have lost my dinner for the next night. Yeah, they will test you when you're pregnant. But I already knew my blood type because of high school. We'd already done that in school. But so it's that bird was huge. Lately there hasn't been very many ravens around the campsite. Or not the campsite, the Forest Service cabin. But there's been a lot of stellars. So it's going to be interesting if they... I want to go drive by and get nosy again. Because I got nosy the last time, and that's when I discovered the fire pit. Because I went to use the bathroom while I was there anyway. So it tells me they're going to reopen it. It's just when they get the time to get somebody out there to fix that one stuff. Oh, I do too. Let me see if I can turn on this light. I don't know if you can see my bookcase behind me. Oh, light switch. Oh, shit. That tells me my mirror's falling off. Got my bookcase. My picture that's over there. Here. Gotta slow down. Still working on my clothes, but gotta hang that up. That's gotta be hung up. Still gotta hang that up. And that one. Still gotta go up. I want to get to... Is it the Nisqually? No. Nisqually Reservation has white ravens. So, yeah. And then, of course, these have 2 ravens on each side. And eventually, when I get my Mjolnir, it'll basically be this design on my arm. So, yeah. I have a thing for hugging and munning. Hugin and Munin, however it's pronounced. It doesn't help that I'm Norwegian. But, Ricky, there was this place on Etsy that had, what was it called? House of Ravens? Except it was from Russia. And so the assholes at Etsy shut it down. I got raven wings. Really pretty, really huge. To protect them till I got a shadow box, I put them in a cereal box. And then, take the bag out of the cereal box and kind of shook out the box and then put the wings in there to save them. And evidently there were still weevil eggs in that box, and they ate $75 with the wings. So I have never seen a cardinal. We don't have them over here. Ugh. Let's see. Get that hair. So I can use this to hold my hair up out of my head. And I'll turn around. That the birds weren't bad. The flower, that hurt. But I like birds. They can fly. I look like Mrs. McGonagall. This thing on. The old lady that turned into a cat. Thank you. I got a few odd hats around here. I've got I got a Greek fisherman's hat. It's wool that goes with my pea coat. So, like I said, it gets a little cooler. I'll put on a wig. Um, like this is a what? Oh, never mind. I'm like waiting. I don't know if today or tomorrow is when my fuel is supposed to show up. My ethanol fuel. I forgot to look what day it's supposed to arrive. I don't want to leave it in the port because that's $112 worth of ethanol fuel sitting on the port. Oh, I have a ethanol fireplace back here, and then one on the dining room table, which oddly enough came with little pointy marshmallow forks. So, and then I got so it helps heat the living room quickly. Living room and the dining room really, really quickly. And I'm a pyromaniac, so I like the flames. So my grandma had 9 parrots. I don't know where they went to because I didn't know she died until 10 years afterwards because it was my birth grandma. So, good Lord, that house was loud. And then you had the peacocks outside. That was a loud house. Yeah, I typically freeze all my flour and then vacuum seal it. But my cousin's late husband, she goes, the only thing of worth he ever said to me was to put in a piece of spearmint gum into your cupboards and it keeps the weevils away. I'm like, interesting. A coat for urination? No, those usually end up being my pants if I'm out in the woods and I'm not set up right. Water heater? Yeah, I know. 7th threw me too. I'm not going. No, I remember as a kid one day peeing down my pant legs because I didn't know how to pee, squat and pee like out in the woods. But I I don't have birds. I think my the vicious little gray thing over here would try to catch them all. I want a raven as a pet. You know, someone who has uh, needs someone to have it for rescue. And but I'm also afraid it would try to eat the cats. So, yep, it is. And I was young and I had no clue. My dad just said, go pee in one of the stalls. So after that, for a long time, uh, I wouldn't pee outside. I had to, out of complete desperation between Ely and Wells, I finally had to break that habit, to break that thing that I would not pee outside because there was no other place to pee. Oh, yes, I have a military pea code. Vietnam era pea code. Now I get it. That reminds me of what the boys used to call a peacock. Used to call it a urine. Y'all can figure the rest of it out. So, but yeah. Um, yeah, I think Japan does too. When my nephew was getting ready to go to be an exchange student, that was one of the things they let him know that yeah. that don't be surprised in some of the older places. Um, um, that does have its advantage, suspicious. It does. So then I'll have to transfer the picture. Weirdest looking toilet at Mount Rainier National Park in Stevens Canyon. Instead of it being your typical, your toilet, it was still kind of round at the back, no seat. And this is in the women's room, mind you. But it was skinnier in the front. So I don't know if it's for people who, don't want to sit down and just straddle the toilet. I don't know. I'm too short. My legs ain't that long. But yeah. Somewhere in here there that took a picture. Oh crap. Speaking of pictures, you guys have heard me talk about that weird closet thing in my dining room. Yeah, it was weird. It was the one right past Nickel Creek, Box Canyon, the Box Canyon bathroom. That's the one who had it. But, why do I think my fuel mod just got here? Okay, let's see. It's up here. Anybody seen anything like this? Let's see. That's my closet in my dining room. It's about the same distance from the floor to the bottom of the closet as it is from the top of the closet to the ceiling. It goes back a ways. You can see the archway here instead of my fingers. You can see the archway next to the one mirror. And so it kind of goes back that way a little bit. That's the big wide archway for some of the ductwork. Yeah, because on the other side of the wall, there's a ductwork on the floor, or not the floor, but almost to the floor. Other side of the archway, there's the ductwork in this room. I don't know what it's for. I thought maybe an ironing board. Maybe, yeah. But I thought the ironing board cupboards were just relatively small. Enough for your ironing board, and that's about it. This thing's deep. You can crawl into it. It's got shelves like it was a pantry or maybe a place for your fine dining dishes. Could be. What's in it right now? Shit. Um, Games, 4 or 5 bottles, about a year's worth of body wash, a year's worth of shampoo, um, a bubble bath, a big Band-Aid kit, you know. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is it was a china and linen closet, stuff like that, because this house was built in '36, and um, the dining room's huge. The kitchen is too flippin' small, but yeah, it's kind of neat. It's really cool, but I have managed to fill it with a whole bunch of stuff that it's like, where does the extra body wash go? Oh, just put it in the dining room closet. I've got games in there. I've got the old Pente when it first came out, uh, because it was on a roll mat. What, 40 years ago? Oh, oh, I do too. I love them, except the fact that they're lath and plaster, and it's really hard to hang something up. And the Wi-Fi signal sucks because this is all lead paint. But oh, we have a wildfire up on the hillside by Terrace Heights. Looks like it's at 1,500 acres. It's all Sagebrush and grass. Yeah, that's pretty much what I kept doing. I got and in there, I have the weirdest thing because I ended up with some mother's weird stuff. It's instead of it having a bust, like Beethoven, this is like a half bust of a, I'm guessing a saint, you know, and it's got the wire halo thing, and I'd have to look up black saints, but I was trying to figure out why a Hispanic would have one, but I don't know. Oh, that would be cool. Let's see out here, a house that's 100 years old is old. Back east, it's still relatively new. Saint Nick. Yeah, it fits. The red head and the beard that'll go gray. It fits. It fits. This hat is getting very, very warm. Oh, I'm not used to having enough. Ew. Mm-hmm. That's right. You guys got a hurricane coming. We're supposed to have high winds, and I'm still waiting for them to show up. But never been in a hurricane. The closest was 100-mile-an-hour winds on the Oregon coast, but I don't think they considered it a hurricane. It was took the top off of a BP gas station awning above the gas pumps, but man, okay. It's one of the first things we looked for up here in the attic was if this was a Sears house, and it's not. We were kind of hoping it was because it's stamped on the pieces of wood. This is a house that was by Franklin School District in Yakima, and I think they were on 19th Avenue. And when they expanded the school and whatnot, the houses got moved out to here. One guy, and so the basement, it's a duplicate of the first floor, and it's built in the 90s, and then the house was put on top of it. Yeah. Yeah, you could order a house. It came with everything you needed, and it's some assembly required. Yep. Could order a lot of things back then. Yep. Yeah, in your work clothes while you put it together. There's a lot of things that have gone by the wayside that when you especially remember if you were raised by the silent generation. So give it time. Give it time. I'm sure they'll do something. Maybe not a full house, but I can see a remodel kit from IKEA. One of these days I need to go into the one on the west side. I've never been in one. So I've had their meatballs and their lingonberry sauce. That's good. Those are good. But yeah, I know. Yeah, they were. They were the Amazon of the 1920s. Yeah, Sears. Ours still says close out. Our store closing. Don't think it's closed yet. No wonder why some of the people were so skinny back then. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I know. It used to be, they had it. They had everything in stock that you wanted, unless it was something really oddball, they'd order it. And then it became, well, this is the floor model, but we'll order you it, and it'll come in so many days, and you got to go back again. So, your Craftsman is sold now at Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember. I have a fabulous Craftsman electric chainsaw. It's got a 12-inch bar. It's so light, I can run it with one hand, which is cool but dangerous at the same time. They sell Craftsman at Wally World now. Oof. Yeah, I got mine at, pretty sure it's Home Depot. A Lowe's? Okay. It was yes, it was Lowe's, because I remember walking out texting that I just got a chainsaw and I was parked in the shade. But yeah, it's a great little chainsaw. Gotta write a note to self to pack that Sunday. So Makita's nice. Makita's gotten really nice. It is. It's Craftsman. Though I do like so that chainsaw, and then I don't think they sell the 12-inch chainsaw anymore. It's got the 20-volt battery. So, but we still got a lot of Craftsman tools. I think we even still have a Craftsman timing light. So, see, I run the electric. He runs the gas. And in the garage, I need to find out if I need to take them down to see if they actually run. I've got 2 other ones that I got from my butcher. They're huge. They're wood cutting chainsaws. There's no protective bar, no nothing. Yeah. And if they don't work, I guess they make great knife blanks. So that's what they turned into. What was the joke I did today? We need to stop calling them illegal guns. We should start calling them undocumented weapons and let them live in sanctuary homes. So I'm sure someone on TikTok, we have another fire. Oh, fudge. Off SR 821 and Canyon Road, Yakima. There's not much left in the canyon to burn. But yeah. I was a kid who got her ass beat when I was younger. Folks weren't home. I got out Dad's 30 hex barrel, put in a bullet. Thought, well, let's give it a try. Let's see if it fires. It didn't fire. And once Dad found out, my ass was promptly beat, and I was told I could have blew myself up with it. So, I know. My poor Alexa Pures. I got 4 of them, but this stuff is to the east of me, more like Terrace Heights. So those poor people are just gonna be smoked out. DeWalt's good too. That's what our gas yard trimmer is. And then Ryobi is the pressure washer. That lovely green. So, yeah. I'm kind of hoping it rains. It'll settle the dust and the smoke. But I don't know what started these 2 yet. But at least it's not the forest. This stuff gets put out pretty quickly. So tonight's leftovers. I'm so excited for dinner. But oh, that's interesting, Ricky. That's interesting. We were just talking about it. I forget what year it was. The earthquake we had here in the 90s. Yeah. But yeah, tonight's leftovers because I'm running out of containers to store leftovers in. So, yeah. I have 2 sets of the Craftsman barbecue tools. Um, I forget what my lawnmower is. I don't care as long as it's self-propelled. That's all I care about. But I have 2 Craftsman barbecue sets, so the handles look like the old clear with the red and the blue screwdriver handles. Yeah. And it says on the box, not guaranteed. Does it? Uh, Not warranted for life or whatever it is. So, I was sitting in a wheelie chair at a desk grading papers, and uh, the gal that I was working with standing didn't feel it. The PE teacher comes running in and goes, "Did you feel that earthquake?" And I'm like, "That's what that was." So yeah. The whole Cascades are volcanoes. I've got somewhere pictures. Bear. Is it Bear Creek? Is it Bear Creek Canyon or just Bear Creek Trail? That's an old caldera. You get up on top of that, and then you can see the goat rocks, and it's quite the view. And that last little bit up that rock wall is terrible. It's a bitch. There's a lot of. Do you guys do fracking in Florida? A lot of places. You look at the sites, and that's where like fracking or geothermal drilling is done. So, um, Ricky, look up Nick Zenter. He's here on YouTube. He's a geology teacher out of Central. He does some really, really cool videos about the rock formations around here. I now know that up the Tieton River, it's from a andesite flow millions and millions of years ago, and there's layering on the rocks, and one of the layers he calls chocolate cake. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. Oh no, it's not the cause, but yeah, that's just usually where it's like they release that pressure point. It's like sticking a knife in the bloated cow. Oh god, he's wonderful. And I need to go back and finish the one going up 410. Yeah. He's fun to watch. What was it? There's these weird things down south. And I don't know if it's Florida or the Carolinas, but it's like this weird wetland with these little islands that are in it. And Magnetic Reversal News, Diamond, I can't pronounce Diamond's last name, David's last name, did a thing on him and Leah for their uh, Saturday night radio show. Yeah, he does. I mean, he's the reason I would like to go back to school, at least take that class, but I don't want to drive to Ellensburg every day in the wintertime. But Yeah. I was one of those, and still am, one of those kids that would pick up a rock and look at it if it's quartz or agate and stick it in my mouth and take it back out so I'd know what it actually looks like wet. Can't remember what they're called. They're old. They're very, very old geological formation. I'll have to go through and find it. It's really cool looking because it's nothing like we have out here. But I'm a big fan of Oppenheimer Rand's project and magnetic reversal news. And oh, that's awesome. I love studying about rocks and all that. I mean, my dad was a history and science teacher, so any question I have, oh, well, those Columbia basalt pillars, yeah. Evidently, we're not supposed to have them up here, like the ones we have in the canyon or Snow Mountain. So, I had a question, my dad would answer it for me, and he's got a rock collection. I don't want all the rocks. My son wants, uh, it's about yay big, a piece of book autunite uranium, and my Wi-Fi. Oh, my Wi-Fi's not off on this one. Book autunite uranium, and then there's a piece of salt. Salt used to be way bigger until I discovered it was salt, and I would keep licking it. He'd get after me. This is for display. This isn't for you to eat. So, oh, that's cool. I swear I have a piece of petrified tree and several pieces of them because my ass would put them in my backpack and carry them home. But I need to get out there when I'm not at a blasted doctor's office and see if I can still get to that spot. The Anderson Rock, whoever they sold it to for Rocky Top, has put up a fence. So I don't know if I can get to where the rest of that big rock is. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. So we weren't supposed to have Idaho wasn't supposed to have silver according to the way they understood places to find silver. They didn't expect it to be in Idaho. Um, mhm. What was it? Arsenic is one of the thing in our water table. Not very high, but we have arsenic in our water table. And of course, we have apple seeds. Is it apple seeds that make our arsenic? I can't remember. I don't know whatever happened, but my the four kids, once grandma and grandpa died, got the house and all the property split by fours. Well, underneath in the back pasture, they had mineral rights. So basically they call it the Lucky Rainbow Mine because it was right below the Rainbow Mine in Idaho. And once once the Rainbow Mine crossed the property line with the digging, they paid I think it was three at that point because Anna Irene was already gone. The three monthly checks for the ability to dig underneath there, and I wonder what happened to all that. So, um, what was it? I guess Titan, our water comes from an underground river, and the city is built like supposedly, this according to Jenny, on an old riverbed. So I'd love to find one of those blue, was it the Ellensburg blues? That would be so cool. Hey Sasquatch, how you doing? But I don't hike much around Ellensburg, and I don't know exactly where to find him. Yeah. Our water, wherever it comes from, is, whether it be an aquifer, whatever it is. What they say? There's a website that tells you how many chemicals are in your water, and if they exceed the federal allowance, and yeah, Yakima water, shit. So is Mabton water. That stuff's sulfur. It's gross. But there's only 4 of them. Arsenic's one of them in our water, and I can't remember, but there's pretty much nothing else. You can actually safely top water carnivorous plants. You can't let it soak in it, but you can safely top water carnivorous plants with it. Yep. There's a cup. Well, it's basically a runoff stream, so it's not running all the time. If you go up Snow Mountain, and it's really cool because you can see where it goes through the lava flow. It's really neat looking. I gotta get out there more this year. With hubby being home for 3 months and surgery recovery, and then now my turn to jump all the little hoops I gotta do. So I want to get out there now that it looks cool. Well, that's cooler outside. My beautiful sunshine this morning turned into clouds. So, yep, they do. They only live in there. And yeah, my son had all types: trumpets, pitchers, fly traps, sundews. When he moved out of this room, at first I thought, because it stunk in here. And I'm like going, is that the smell of kid, boy smells, just sweat, gross shoe smells? He'd been gone for over a month and it still stunk in here. And I hadn't really moved in here yet to have all my craft room stuff done. It still stunk and it still stunk. And we were asking, okay, what are you going to do this? What are you going to do this? You got a big old fish tank for some pitcher plants. And I went and said, what are you going to do with this? And went, oh my God. That was the smell. The pitcher plant fluid smell, that rotting, is gross. Oh yeah. They have to be kept in, is it peat moss to grow in, and kept damp. Really lean hamburger they can eat if you don't have any bugs. But it's all right, Suspicious. Enjoy your dinner time. He'd put them outside in the summertime, and I'd put next to a bowl of like peaches or whatever, and kind of let the fruit flies gather, and that would just feed them, and the sundews and everything. So it was really cool. Oh yeah, it was gross. It was just, once I started putting it together, once the aquarium was out, the smell went with it. But yeah, he had a big, huge one in there named Fred. I named him Fred for some reason, but it was huge. He had the table, the lamps, we still got the huge, I forget what it is. It's grow lights, not weed grow lights, but they're specifically for carnivorous plants. And he had it hanging up downstairs on a fixture he made. It is quite different, but he could make them grow. He had no problem. So, all right, guys, it's an hour, and I need to finish gathering up my clothes off of the living room floor, so get those finally put away so I can get rid of all those plastic hangers. Yeah, feed me, Seymour. Yes. So, like, tomorrow I'll probably be here about, thinking 11 o'clock. 10:30, 11, depending on when I get up. Like I said, I'll probably finish my makeup talking to you guys. That'll keep me busy and distracted before I have to go into town to find everything out. So, guys, I will say goodbye and all my love, Miss Dragon. Yep. And away we go until tomorrow. Love you all.
Thank you for being part of Miss Dragon's menagerie. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All my love.